Hi, I'm Richard Ashworth, and this is the fourth in our pieces about the Chinese celestial animals. It's about the rabbit. And if you were born in 1939, 1951, 1963, 1975, 1987 and 1999, you might rightly think that you're a rabbit. Having said that, if you were born in the solar month of March, solar month of the rabbit, usually starting about the 6th of March, you would be a rabbit by the month. And if you're born between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m, you'll be a rabbit by the hour. And on certain days that you need a Chinese calendar or assistance with to work out, those have different nuances. If you are a rabbit year, if you're born in a rabbit year, say 1999 or 1987, that will apply to you physically, to the obvious, to the visible. It's why you can say things about celebrities from their year pillar, because all you know about them is the visible stuff, and it will tend to be right on that level of publicity. But also the year is about the deepest history. It's about your DNA patterns, family patterns, those kinds of things. Whereas the month is about shallower history, so it's about your education, it's about the work environment, it's about exes, peers, that sort of thing. The day is more particularly about you, your day stem, that is the character that moderates the animal of your day, is most particularly yours. So if you want to really know about yourself, you need to know your day stem. I'm teaching this stuff online via Zoom, timing by mutual arrangement all the time, and I'm always doing buzzies as well, so if you wanted to know those things. And if you're a rabbit by the hour, then the hour, which is between 5 and 7 in the morning, of course, is early, and it will relate to your dreams, your future, your kids, and the deepest, most secret thoughts. I also draft what's called a life house, which is the voice that calls to you, which may be telling you what you should do. It may be actually telling you what you shouldn't do, and you need to make up your mind. But there will be an animal for that as well. Anyway, so my point is, what I say about a rabbit will only be entirely yours if you have 5 rabbits, which is extremely unlikely. I have seen 4, and it was a very distinctive buzzy. Another time maybe. Anyway, what is a rabbit? Well, a rabbit is yinwood. That would mean essentially gentle and domestic. You know, where the tiger is yangwood, which is like a tree trunk. It's pretty forceful. It's not easy to argue with. The rabbit is more like grass. But then if you want to cut down a tree trunk, all you need is a chainsaw. You take a chainsaw to a lawn, all you get is muddy. So that's the difference between yin and yang, or a difference between yin and yang, if you like. The rabbit's time is early morning. The legend has it that she and the rooster swap places, which is why the zodiac rooster crows at dawn, but not at dawn, but at dusk. The rabbit rules the spring, therefore. Think March hares, Easter bunnies. It's got a pretty much international significance, that. And the rooster rules the autumn. This story may also serve to illustrate the mistrust that can exist between rabbit and rooster. Yin wood, yin metal. They are said to what's called clash, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's dynamic. But in the case of metal, the yin metal, which is metal is about precision, yin metal less about engineering and more about glamour and art and appreciation and perspective. Rabbit is yin wood, which is more kind of fluffy and poetic and vulnerable, and they are on the compass, they are diametrically opposed, east and west, on the clock as well, and in the calendar. So the relationship is often thought of as being mistrust, disappointment, letdowns. What happens to the rabbit in the rooster year? Those kinds of things. Possibly the rooster also, but usually the rooster is in the driving seat, because metal clashes wood rather than wood clashing metal, though both may be said, they both clash, but only metal controls rabbit, but both clash. Anyway, the rabbit is subtle in keeping with her yin nature. She provides service readily and is often suited to catering and caring. but her preparedness to roll up her sleeves makes her the unexpected queen of networking. If you want to be introduced to the person in charge, ask a rabbit. Although giving the impression of reluctance to be in the spotlight, rabbits are often performers, but equally often more at home behind the scenes. They can be kind of modest. They have a kind of push-me-pull-you attitude to celebrity. Writer-composer Tim Minchin, who of course wrote the Matilda the musical, fits this bill. A gifted actor, but obviously more comfortable writing, I think. Devoted dad David Beckham, obviously a little bit reluctant to be, to talk much. Strangely introvert ex-Prime Minister Gordon Brown, all clearly pretty good at making connections too. The rabbit can wait her turn. Vigilance and patience are typical. Her natural allies, because they are the wood triad, are the pig and the sheep. So they are the Samhain three harmony making up wood, and wood is about movement. This is a house-proud team, so maybe a moving house, a rabbit wants a pig and a sheep, but the rabbit is very much a team player. Her unexpected friend is the dog, who values her ability to charm without threat. The rabbit also belongs to the gathering known as the Flowers of Love, or plum flowers, along with the horse, the rooster and the rat, and these are the charismatic guys, reckoned to be the sexiest. And that doesn't mean if you're not a horse, rooster, rat or rabbit, you're not sexy. You will have 4/5 pillars, and you will be more complex than that, and you have free will. Anyway, she may find herself clearing up behind these three extroverts, and quite often the cuddle bunny will obtain a life partner from the leavings of her more blatantly glamorous colleagues. Horse, rooster, rat. Horse and rooster particularly. Horse tends to be determined to be the centre of attention, and the rooster has to be the most beautiful. Anyway. And of course that's not true of all roosters or all horses. Your Bazi has 4 or 5 pillars, and there's a lot more than this. Rabbit tends to be conservative with a small c. Early rising is typical, but the yang of early alertness may be balanced by the yin of sleeping in. So the issue may be to do with sleeping, but it may be one way or the other. This is yin and yang. In Vietnam, the rabbit is called the cat, which is quite wrong. The Chinese character looks to me like it has rabbit ears and nothing like a cat, but also the cat is not yin wood. Yang wood for the tiger maybe, but I mean I can kind of see the logic there. But yin wood relates to the late spring, leaves, flowers, grass, none of which are obviously feline. But there is the song, The Year of the Cat, which is a banger, written by 1945 rooster Al Stewart, in the rabbit, not cat year of 1975, illustrates again the misunderstanding that often occurs between rabbit and rooster. How will a rabbit fare in a rooster year? Typical are disappointments and letdown, lower sights. And if you are apprised of those things, you can make it different. So you can play to your strengths, and given that you have an animal for each of your day, month, year and hour, you have plenty of opportunity to do that. It's very unlikely that all 4 or 5 animals are going to be unlucky in the same year. In the same way, it's very unlikely they'll all be very lucky. But it happens. In some ways, the rabbit epitomizes yin. Yang wood may be characterized as an upward movement like the growth of a tree. Yin wood is more like the outward expansion of the spread of grass. What these two expressions have in common is irresistibility. Wood is both stubborn and flexible. Yin wood is characterized by Sun, the wind of the southeast, is thorough as well as organized. This is the eldest daughter, Sun, the wind. Gentle and thorough, but ultimately adamant. And the fact that wind is wood gives you a real insight into what wood is, because what is wind other than movement? There's nothing else there. So wind is wood, and this is wind sun, not wind feng, which is much more violent thing. Hexagram 53 of the Book of Changes, Gradual Progress, relates also. The tree on the mountain grows against all the odds, either because it throws itself absolutely upon the mercy of the Tao, or because it has a detailed plan that it follows meticulously, or both. And hexagram 53 is often related to the glass ceiling in the world of business, where women have to be several times cleverer than men, which they generally are, in order to succeed. The rabbit is said to cause the dragon, next in sequence, to lose money, because the yin earth of the rabbit eats into the yin wood of the rabbit, eats into the yang earth of the dragon. That's elemental theory. Perhaps the dragon is distracted by a neighbour, so apparently different in nature. These two are not a great pairing, but the fact is that the rabbit sitting between the tiger and the dragon shares qualities with both. So you may get an insight, I often say this, about an animal by looking at the ones either side of it. So the rabbit is not a dragon and not a tiger. Gentler than the tiger, less fortuitous perhaps than the dragon, less likely to get results without hard work than the dragon. Dragon here can usually get away by simply transforming. Partnership with the tiger is sometimes formalized as a house of progress. The rabbit offers carrot while the tiger wields a stick. More may be achieved perhaps with a kind word and a gun than with a kind word alone. So rabbit and tiger in a business together, the rabbit will get people onto the sales floor, but they may love him but still go away, you know, with lots of reasons for not actually buying anything. But the tiger, if the tiger's blocking the door, they can't get out without writing a check. So that's quite a good business combination. Wood represents bone, spine and hair, as well as the eyes. The light is fire, but the receiving organ is wood. Rabbit is often not strong in these regards, unlike the tiger, and this again is yin and yang. Finally, it's worth appreciating that the wooden table you're probably seated by is wood, but not wood. That is wood with a small w, not wood with a capital W. Wood is always growing, which is not true of anything else. Not animals, people, cutting edges, digestive biscuits, rocks, mountains. It's wood if it's moving all the time. And where metal works inwards, metal is centripetal. Where water always moves downwards, fire always moves upwards, wood's just moving. You can tell that a thing is a tree or a plant is alive because it's growing. It's always moving. Usable wood in feng shui terms is alive. Many masters consider this kind of wood to be earth, motionless and ashen, and that's quite an important feng shui lesson, because if you're introducing wood into an environment, you need to be introducing wood and not earth. It's kind of an illusion that a piece of wood like this will bring you wood energy. It's not alive. It brings you something different. And you know, there are those who debate that with me. So there you go. There is the rabbit. Thank you.